the 7th edition of the Forms of Prayer Siddur used in the UK. From 1977 to 2008, there's a study anthology. And it's actually very exciting to have a study anthology in a Siddur, especially if you're a child, because if you're bored in services, you just open up the study anthology and read stories. And there's a story in that Siddur in which a person is working really hard all day long, but wants to be spending his time connecting to God. And so he takes a very small break and he goes out into an alleyway and he prays a prayer. And he apologizes to God and says, I wish that I could be spending more of my days in your presence, essentially. But I can't because I have to work, I have to take care of my family, and so let this be my prayer to you. And then runs back into work. And the final line of that story is God holds that person very dear. What does that mean? It means that for some people, they have the luxury of being able to spend their whole lives in religious service. But for others, they don't. And they have to get a job, and they have to take care of family, they have to take care of themselves. And so they have to find little times to perform mitzvah, little times to acknowledge their Judaism. And we want to help with that. And that's why, thanks to the Social Justice Committee and Devon, our Social Justice Coordinator, that's why we've set up the WhatsApp group Mini Mitzvahs. And WhatsApp, this is all on your phone, and hopefully you've received the email this week. All you need to do is look at that email on your phone and click on the link there, and it will send you to the WhatsApp group, Mini Mitzvahs. What's the point of Mini Mitzvahs, of our little group? The point is if somebody needs maybe some medication picked up from the pharmacy, if somebody needs a ride to the doctor, if we need help just putting out some chairs or putting away the oneg, or if we need any kind of help, if anyone in the community or if the community itself needs help, then we just post it in our Mini Mitzvahs group. And if you have time, and it's always going to be just a small mitzvah, a mini mitzvah, if you have the time, then you just reply and say, yeah, I'd love to do that, please. And for me, I think that's a really important way of acknowledging how busy people are, but how much people do want to connect. And I believe that God holds such people very dear when they are able to say, I am really busy, but I could just do this little thing. But more than that, it's not just a religious thing, it's also a social thing. Because particularly after COVID, as it moves out of being a health emergency into something we learn to manage and live with, a lot of people have been very isolated. And Mini Mitzvahs, this group which now over 50 people have joined from our community, Mini Mitzvahs is a way of helping people connect. I really desperately need someone to go to the pharmacy and pick up this medication for me, and then you drop it off, and you drop it off at their home and you have a quick chat. And that person who's housebound suddenly feels a connection, feels not so isolated. That to me is a really important mitzvah. So we encourage you, please have a look at the email that was sent out this week, and please do join our Mini Mitzvahs group so that we can hold each other and so God can hold us very dear indeed. Normally at this point I share quick things that are happening in our community on Shabbat in particular, and I normally end by saying, and I look forward to seeing you there. But this weekend I won't, because this weekend I'm not in services in the synagogue. Neither is Cantor Leanna, in fact, because we're helping lead a Shabbaton, a Shabbat retreat away for religious school students, which is really, really exciting. And so instead we have volunteers who are going to be helping to lead services and Torah study, Aaron, Meredith, Dana, Dan. And so I encourage you to please support them in services as we are away at a nearby camp retreat celebrating Shabbat with special activities for kids. And that in and of itself is a different kind of mitzvah. And so I encourage you to perform the mitzvah of supporting Aaron and Meredith and Dana and Dan by being present in services. And of course, remember, our onegs are back, and it is so wonderful to be able to sit with members of the community over food afterwards. The mood, the tone, the connection is something that we've really, really profoundly missed. And I really encourage it. It's really healing. It's really powerful and really important. So I encourage you to join us, especially this evening, for Kabbalat Shabbat service and Oneg, as well as Torah study and Shabbat Shacharit tomorrow. So I do wish you a week A Shabbat of peace and calm, a Shabbat of being able to gather together in community, and a week of performing mitzvahs, however big or however mini. And I wish you Shabbat Shalom.